CPW Galaxy, thank you for joining us. You are here with me, the man you probably don't want to hear from, but the only man that has got a voice in the darkness for CPW at the moment, former CEO Coventry Pro Wrestling. My name is Dominic Dewinter, and tonight I'm going to be joined by my two very special guests. We've got them before 9 o'clock, so they're slightly sober across the majesty of modern technology. The two founding members of Team Madness, Dr. Gage and Leyton Sims. Are you there, fellas?
What's going on, Dom?
It is nice to hear from you. Dr. Gage, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, yeah, I'm here.
You sound...
He was just hitting a Jaeger.
Oh, that is one thing I do miss, the Jaegers.
As the bar me has got a deal on, we've got 24 bottles of Bud for, I think it was £14, and a bottle of Jaeger for £12. So I've been smashing it.
Okay, well, it's good to hear that you're training.
I've been doing a few runs, not in my shorts, but out and outside.
It is really nice to hear from you at the moment. So this is a really strange time we're in at the moment. How are you both coping? Firstly, let's ask Dr. Gage, how are you coping with the situation at the moment? You're getting out and about. I know that you're still working, but how's it affecting you?
I'm not really happy, to tell you the truth, Dominic. I had a letter through today. Quite disappointed. I've been turned down for Miss UK. So
really?
Apparently, Miss UK turned me down. I'm not allowed to compete.
Travesty.
Well, is that due to social distancing or the fact that you're a ginger-bearded man?
I think it's the latter.
Yeah, all right. Thank you very much. I just think it's ridiculous. I think it's gingerism. Gingerism, that's what it is.
Okay, right. So I can tell by the sound of your voice, you're still keeping your sense of humour. So when it comes down to it, I mean, this isn't affecting you greatly, but are you okay? Are the family okay? Everyone happy?
Yeah, we're all good. Kids are still going to school, so that's a bit of a bonus.
Of course, because being a doctor, you're registered as a key worker.
Well, obviously, yeah. What are you laughing at, Leyton?
No, nothing. Going to college is more important right now.
Did you get the cream I sent you?
I did. Thank you. It helps.
And is the rash all cleared up?
Well, mostly.
There you go then.
Okay, so how about you, Leyton? How have you been dealing with things?
I said, I've been drinking hard. I'll be honest. But I am the hard party and hooligan, so that doesn't matter. I drink hard when I go to work, so that doesn't matter. But I've got my dogs. I've got my two babies, my two staffies. I love them to bits. I take them out for runs every day. I'm doing all right. I'm missing everyone. I'm missing the CPW Galaxy. I'm missing everyone backstage. I'm missing having a laugh with the lads.
Did it say me then?
I'm missing you, Doc. I am missing you, my brother.
Have you two been keeping in touch?
He keeps sending me inappropriate pictures.
Of who?
No, I don't.
I'm not saying I don't want them. I'm just saying they're inappropriate. I can't talk about them before 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Watershed.
I'm glad to.
Yeah, he sent me a picture of his watershed, and I didn't like it.
What, like a mouldy stain line?
Yeah.
Or do you mean a shed in the garden where he keeps the water? Listen. This could easily degenerate into madness, which is ironic because as the two founding members of Team Madness, you've been keeping the CPW Galaxy occupied. You've been keeping me occupied. You've been keeping everyone entertained backstage as well. I'd like to take a minute first to just talk to you each individually about your experiences at CPW. Firstly, if I mention to you, Leyton, when did you first join CPW?
It was about 3 years ago now. Honestly, I was going down a bad path. I was getting myself into a lot of trouble. The hooligan didn't come from nowhere. It was based a lot on what I used to be and the people I used to know. And
so you're saying that your life hasn't been all roses. Do you believe that adds to the believability of the hooligan?
100%. I mean, I can honestly say if I didn't find CPW, if I didn't start wrestling, I'd probably either be in jail or dead right now. And I love CPW. I love Mr. Richards. I love the Galaxy for the opportunities I've got.
That's really nice to hear, because I was talking to Danny O'Neill earlier today, and he says some really nice things about you, and the fact that and when I speak to Dr. Gage about his experiences, I know for a fact that the three people on this line at the moment, CPW has probably helped with our mental health more than anything else in our lives.
Definitely. Yeah.
And I think in these situations that keeping in contact like this is extremely important.
I know I can put Big Eli in on that as well. He's struggled a lot with his stuff, and I know that being around the guys, just having the amazing friends that we've met through CPW has helped a lot for all of us.
Well,
yeah, I agree.
I think that's really good to know, and we'll talk about that in more detail in a little while. So when you first joined CPW, the hooligan was a persona, but it was based in your real life. Your first taste of success was with the Fallen, wasn't it?
Yeah, I love the Fallen. I mean, that was a different Leyton, definitely, but I had that. Obviously, like you say, it was my first time in the ring, and being with guys that were more experienced than me, being with somebody like Danny O'Neill, who taught me a lot. He was my first ever trainer, Danny was, and being with Tomby, being with George, being with Nightshade, I learned a lot from all of them.
So being in a faction like that, I mean, one of the things I was talking to Danny about was he said it's either make or break in a faction like that. Because in a faction like it is your first time in the ring, but you're put into a high card position in the show straight away. All eyes are on you, aren't they? As a
definitely.
faction.
I mean, my first time out, I'll be honest, before coming through that curtain, it was Brown Trousers time. I was nervous, but but coming out and then going through the curtain and just making that impact. And, being then as a heel, just being able to just let loose and just shout and give the crowd just as much crap as I wanted. And just...
Oh, they gave it you back. I remember Mr. Bush, there was a real set to between you and him at one point, and it was absolute gold.
Oh, Bushy. The Bushman, I think if it weren't for Bushy, like Leyton Sims, the hooligan wouldn't have got as over as he did. Like, the Bushman helped that so much. There's a picture I've got of me with my hood up, a balaclava around my face, just pointing at him, giving him shit, probably just calling him a fat mess or something like that, and just giving it me back hard. And like, I love that more, like, just as much as the help I got from Danny and Tommy, just as much the help I got from everybody.
That's brilliant to know.
Proud member there.
That's brilliant to know. So after the Fallen, the demise or the Fallen, Leyton Sims seemed to take a little bit of a change in his personality and tried to come to terms with the level of aggression that the hooligan was coming across. That's where we see Dr. Gage come in for the first time. And
that's right.
So...
Ta-da! It was. Yeah, it was. Yes.
He helped me so much, like, get over my anger. My obsession with flowers came from the doc, showing me that there's something different in this world. Like, I was going out stroking puppies, whereas before I might have kicked them. And that was, that's
I've heard you've been stroking puppies before, but that leads to your time in prison.
We might have to leave the pocket holding and the shower time until after 9 o'clock.
No, but Dr. Gage, you originally came up through the CPW Superstars project, didn't you?
Yes, I did, and it's really weird because Aaron Leyton talk about Bushy, who really got him over as a heel. I don't think. Well, you probably remember, Dom. Actually, I started as a heel as well.
Oh yes, I did.
It's Gage Rage.
Gage Rage, the pig man.
Oh, that was. Do you know what? That was one of the most. I was really anxious for you because I'd seen you go through your training, and you told me that there was this persona that you wanted to portray, and whenever anyone says that they want to portray something that's far beyond just a standard wrestler, there's something inside me that gets really nervous, because
definitely.
essentially you're putting yourself out there. If it's not believable, but when you came out onto that first debut, I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified, not just for you, but the persona itself.
Yeah.
What are you trying to say, Leyton? I weren't scary.
No, mate, I'm 100%. I'm with it. I mean, I've seen you naked, and that's scary. But,
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but you coming out as Gage Rage, that pig mask, that grubby shirt,
God,
it gave me chills, 100%.
Was it beneficial having that mask? Do you believe you hid behind that, or was there a nervous man behind that, or were you just in the zone?
Nah. Do you know what? There's a picture in the locker room, and I'm sat there with the mask on and my feet up, my hands behind my head, and everyone's like, "You look so relaxed." I was. Do you know what? It's weird. Yeah, maybe wearing the mask, you can hide behind it, and you're somebody different. You know, when I came out, I weren't Aaron. I was at Gage Rage with that pig mask. It's really weird. I don't know if Leighton's the same, but you're not your normal person anymore. You're that character when you come out. You know, you leave everything behind in the locker room, and you just come out and.
Well, then you did. The mask did get left behind in the locker room, and the next time that we encountered Dr. Gage, he was CPW's, I think it was mental acuity or mental awareness representative. Essentially, he was a medical practitioner for CPW, and that's where we saw.
I found out that before the doc went a bit crazy and all pig-faced, he actually had a medical degree in psychology and counselling. So I asked him.
It's true.
To help.
Well, I mean, I had.
Leyton, are you telling us that basically when you realised you were having problems, you decided that the best person to ask was a man wearing a butcher's apron and a pig face?
Oh, yeah, he seemed the best option to me, I'll be honest with you.
So what other options were there in CPW that you could talk? We're trying to say
there was Tommy and Fifi, so, let's be honest. I think I had the best out of the bunch.
Well, that whole situation that you're talking about there led to what I believe are some of the most memorable, creative and wonderful promos where we first see you two conversing when you take Leyton through this process of overcoming his anger. Now, tell me how those came about. Tell me how the idea came about for those.
Easy. Do you know what? And one person we've got to thank, and I believe Leyton is Mr. Richards for letting us be so creative in what we do. It's really weird that he just says to us, this is the plan. Go ahead with it.
A lot of the things the CPW Galaxy don't see about Mr. Richards is that he's got himself a very sick mind as well.
God, yeah.
He has. 100% he has. And everything that we wanted to do, he jumped on board with. He came up with more crazy ideas for us to do, and things just snowballed. And
the Lenny Henry one. I mean, that Lenny Henry one. I mean, we were just sitting there, and he went, "Right, I want you to walk in and say Lenny Henry." And we were like, "Whoa!"
We were looking at this because it was at the church, and it was this one of those church, like magazine things, and on the front was, it was an African
Ethiopian man, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes, and it was a starving African. And I'll be honest, I wouldn't have felt comfortable doing it if it wasn't Mr. Richard saying, you can do it. I'm saying you could do it, but we did it, and I loved it. And then Lenny Henry became a thing for us.
Do you believe that because you're funny doing it, there's a lot more leeway? Do you think that because it's for the
purposes? I hope so. Yeah. I hope so.
I mean,
the trouble is though, is when we do it, we don't get into character as much.
Well, hang on a minute. I've got to tell Alexa to be quiet. One sec. Alexa, be quiet.
Is Alexa one of your dogs?
No. Alexa's giving it a big one. I'm gonna have to choke slam
it. He's been on the thieving again. No way you can afford an Alexa.
No. I robbed her. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought
she thinks my name's Pedro.
This is for those of people in the CPW Galaxy that are listening to this level of madness that is currently going on. This is constant. Whenever we're at training or anything like, like that. But at the moment, I'm thinking about is from the golden genius that is these guys, that the first match back, actually we'll do it during lockdown because he doesn't need an opponent, is Leyton Sims versus Alexa.
Oh, yes. Book it. Yes. She has been riding me ever since I've got here. Pedro, do this. Pedro, it's time to get up. Pedro, no! Leave me alone.
Calm it down now, Leyton.
If I may, gentlemen, I'll continue with what we're talking about. So,
sorry.
No, that's absolutely fine. So, for you two, you've worked together on these series of promos that we all enjoyed watching. There was a closeness there. Are you two as close outside of the ring as we believe you are when you are inside the ring? I mean, is there that level of closeness?
No, I don't like him.
Saying that
I hate him.
You're saying that because I stole your kebab, and I didn't mean to. It was in the bag. I took it out of the car, and I'm sorry. All right, I got back. I thought they just put an extra kebab in my bag, and I started eating it. And I'm sorry. It was nice. I'm sorry.
It was It was one of the best kebabs ever. It cost me £10.
It was an absolute monster as well.
It was, Dominic. It was the best kebab ever, and he stole it from me. So no, I don't like him. No, seriously. Do you know what? It's like, and then in a heterosexual way, I love this guy. I really do.
I'm not even saying it in a heterosexual way. I love you.
I just love you. Do you know what? I remember Tomby saying once that he watched a documentary about tag teams and how they're meant, how a good tag team are really close, in the ring and out the ring. And he turned around to me and said, and that's what you and Leyton have got. And he says,
100%.
But you still just need to find that kind of skill in the ring to match it.
Yeah, I've got the magic. I just don't open it up.
Both of us together, we have that. We have the same sense of humor. I mean, like I said earlier, I've met a lot of great people through wrestling, some amazing friends, but the Doc is my brother, 100%.
Oh, 100%.
That's nice to know. This coming weekend, I'm talking to the Merseyside Mercenary Squad, who I believe in. Yeah.
Oh, shut up. They're amazing. Dan Evans. The Scousers.
Yeah, sorry.
The Scousers.
Yeah, the one. Yeah, I got you. The ones that. Yeah. Good. They're good. They are. I've heard.
I mean, they're an amazing tag team. There's no doubt, and they've held the gold for the longest. How's your tag team success been?
We started to get real traction, and then I got injured.
He fell off my shoulders.
Yeah, and then I came back, and then we went into lockdown.
Let's talk about that injury for a second, because I was there when that happened.
Flashbacks.
And I mean, you guys have got one hell of a tag team finisher.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
it wasn't actually the finish that it was. I was sat for the finish. I stand on his shoulders and I do my diving headbutt, which I know how to land that perfectly. But what it was, I was sat on his shoulders and we were just taking the mick out of the 666 pack, and I think maybe they just took it a bit too hard. Yeah, Mick Hucknall and Rob Zombie, we were taking the mick out of the lads. We were a bit harsh. We were singing like Simply Red songs to them.
I love Simply Red.
Oh well, yeah. And they took out the Doc's legs, and I fell. As soon as I fell, I knew like it weren't good times. But I got out of the ring, trying to carry on the match, but then God bless him, Fifi came down because he could see that there was no way I was carrying on that match. He came down and he looked at me and he said, I've got you. You go back. I was like, thank the living Jesus. Yeah, I went back and Tomby put a book in my mouth and tried to put it back into place. I nearly knocked him out. That didn't go down well. So,
he put a book in my mouth.
I was boiled down on it, but I bit through it, I think.
Well, we're glad you're back from that injury, and you two boys seem to be doing that well. I mean, you've brought some new blood into your numbers, haven't you?
Oh yes. Oh, little Bashby and Frankie Summers.
Well, Bashby has got one of the best young talent CPW has got. It broke my heart giving up that new blood title. Seeing that big Welsh princess with it, I hate it even more. But seeing my little homie Bashby, seeing him holding that title, if I can't have it, at least he's got it.
Well, I mean, I'm glad that you did relinquish the title, because it would have made you having to give it up due to being pregnant a lot easier, wouldn't it?
Yes. Wait, I think you're confusing me with Becky Lynch.
Am I? That happens a lot, does it? Does that happen a lot?
Whoa. That's a spoiler. I've not watched it yet. Cheers, black guys. That's my
I'm sorry, but I don't have the ginger hair, but I do have the same buns of steel that Becky Lynch has got.
And you got a lot of respect. You got a lot of respect. So Bashby and Frankie, they're on board, and the boys are doing absolutely fantastic. But I need to ask you, because I'm asking everyone, and I'm going to ask Dr. Gage first. Give us your favourite CPW moment in history that you've had, and it might not be one that you're involved with.
Do you know what? I'm going to say today. It's weird because my favourite moment was ain't weird actually. It sounds a bit. It was actually our first tag team match when we come out as Team Madness, and it was and do you know the maddest thing? It was against Iron Serb, who I like to call the Meerkat. Because he's got them little eyes, hasn't he? You never know if he's awake or asleep.
And he just talk a bit like the Meerkat.
Yeah. He rang me up the other day and he was trying to sell me home insurance. So it was.
That might have been a threat.
What was it? Yeah. I know
it might have been look, you've got a lovely home. It'd be horrible if something happened to it.
He did say, I know where you live. Yeah. I know where you live. And Bashby, it was against Iron Serb and Bashby, weren't it, Leyton? And
that was an amazing match. One of my favourite memories, definitely.
Do you know what? And that's when we hit the first, as we like to call it, the one step beyond, where Sims jumped off my shoulders.
Fantastic. Right, so for you, it's got to be your tag team debut. What about you, Leyton? What's yours?
I've got two. One that
you can have one.
One that involves
can I have one?
One that involves me directly was winning my first title, the Nubler Championship, and then Doc coming out, holding my hands up, and Bashby was there as well, and us just celebrating, partying it down. He brought me in a bottle of wine. I necked off in the ring. It was amazing. Yeah, but then
we went back and listened to Madness. No, we listened to Wham, didn't we?
We did. Wham's our stuff. You know what I mean? But another one, because it just shows like the love and respect that everyone in the CPW has got for each other, is when Dale's dad passed away, and we did the 10-bar salute, and everyone surrounded the ring and just showed that respect for him. I love that. Obviously it was for something horrible, but it was us supporting him in the only way we could.
I understand completely what you're saying. So many people believe that the whole thing about CPW, it's fun and the backstage camaraderie is there, but when it comes down to it, we're there for each other as a family through the good times and the bad.
It is a family. You're right there, Dom. You know, it's kind of like that. We can mess with each other, but if you mess with one of us and you're an outsider, expect the whole family to come after you.
Yeah, very true.
Mr. We've seen it.
Refer to it as wrestling mafia. Listen, what we've got to do is we've got to get to the end of this because we've been going.
Sorry, mate. Sorry.
It's absolutely fine. Do you know what? I could be here all day, but what I will say is this: you've got a lot of people loving Team Madness at the moment, and a lot of people want to see you, and they can't. So if they can hear from you, what are your thoughts to those people, that fan base that you've got, and any CPW fan? Any message for them?
Are we just on about Ryan Conway's mum?
Not specifically. Listen, I would prefer it if you didn't use this medium as a way of messaging her, because I know that you've been blocked.
she has had a restraining order against the dog.
Yeah. Well,
against me? You the one was outside her house.
Yeah, I know, but I'm small enough to hide in the bush.
He was crying.
Not her. Easy, there are kids listening to this.
The shrubbery.
Me love the bush.
Me love the bush. No. Look, no. I want to say, everyone, stay strong. We'll all be back as soon as we can. We can't wait to be back. And for those of you like the dog who are still at work and still keeping this country going, thank you.
I think I would like to just say, thank every one of the CPW Galaxy for supporting us when we come into the ring, whether it's a tag team or single. You know, it's when our music hits and we come out and we see everyone, except for the cross section because they're just midgets, dancing. Sorry, hobbits, a lot of them. I see everyone dancing. Do you know what? It makes me. It gives me that buzz to get in there, a bit more energy.
How do you think it's going to change? How do you think things are going to change?
Do you know what? I don't think it will because, I mean, most of the Galaxy is part of the Lunatic Army, so they're not all there as it is. You know what I mean? So
yeah, well, as long as I can still drink beer, punch people, and headbutt some mofos, I'll be a happy man.
Mr. Gage has just stumbled on an absolute gold little tagline there. Said, "You're not here, but it doesn't matter because we're not all there."
That's beautiful.
We've always said, haven't we, Leyton? We're two broken minds working as one.
That's it.
I like that, and especially you don't have to be mad to work here.
Yeah, literally. And to all the other tag teams out there, just be careful because when we do come back, Team Madness
you're going for that gold.
We want that gold.
We're going for it. Oh, I mean, who's got it at the moment? Is it the Silk Brothers?
It is.
We're more like the Tracksuit Brothers.
So how do you feel about that? Do you think that, I mean, there's definite unity between you two, where there seems to be some dissension in the ranks between those two?
Do you know what?
That could only work in our favour.
Will Star, though, is fit. I mean,
he is probably one of the sexiest men alive.
Oh, big time. I mean, I've drank Jesus juice and... Ooh.
Are you saying that some dead men are sexier than Will Star?
Well, you know. You've got Elvis and Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
Are they
Jim
brothers? Because it sounds like you're saying they're brothers. There's Elvis.
No, not Elvis Mercury. No.
Elvis
Mercury. No, I don't think that's a guy.
Yeah.
Listen, gentlemen, on a night like tonight, I've opened a beer, I've sat back, I've shot the breeze with a couple of my wrestling brothers. I will say this: you make me miss it.
Yeah. 100%.
You make me miss being
time
there.
talking to you guys.
Oh, do you know what it is? I said this to Eli the other day. I just can't wait to get back and just hug people.
Yeah.
You know, you guys just hug everybody and just say, "Yeah, let's get back into it. Let's do what we want, what we do best." Something we've dreamed of since we were kids.
And I think
when I go into that ring, I'm doing it for that little 6-year-old that used to sit there watching wrestling, and I'm living my dream.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Gage and Leyton Sims proving that no disease is going to be stronger than wrestling. Nothing can keep the CPW world from rolling on. The train that will keep on rolling. Gentlemen, I'm going to sign off now. All
right, mate, before we get any worse.
I would.
Listen, I used to have to manage you two. I used to have to deal with you two, but it is fantastic talking to you. Team Madness all the way. You're going to see some great things in your future. We're going to see some great things in CPW's future. I just wish I could be more of a part of it. But for now, I am Dominic Dewinter. I can't give you what you need, but I can give you what you want. And I've been giving you Team Madness, which is possibly the longest time that they've had a cogent conversation for. I'm going to sign off right now. Ladies and gentlemen.
Love you, Dom.
Join us soon.
Love you, Dom. Dom, you're the best.
Bye-bye.